Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's really good to have you here with us again.
Seriously, welcome back.
We just got back to New York after spending a few days in Boston.
And tonight honestly feels like the perfect first night back.
Because tonight, we're doing something very simple.
We're going out for dinner.
That's basically the entire theme of tonight's episode.
No dramatic life updates.
No deep philosophy.
Well, probably a little philosophy.
Okay, maybe some accidental philosophy.
But mostly, we're just hungry.
Very true.
So tonight we're taking you guys with us while we walk through New York, figure out where to eat, stare at menus for too long, order way too much food.
And eventually argue politely about the bill.
Which always happens.
Every single time.
We'll also talk a little about Boston, being back home, and that strange feeling when you return to your apartment after traveling.
Especially when your refrigerator is empty.
And your suitcase is still sitting in the middle of the floor.
Which ours currently is.
Exactly.
So whether you're listening while walking home, commuting, cooking dinner, or just trying to relax tonight,
We're really happy you're here.
grab a drink
Get comfortable.
and let's go get dinner.
You know what the apartment smelled like when we walked in earlier?
What?
Like nobody had lived here for a week.
That is weirdly accurate.
Apartments somehow develop this empty air smell when nobody's around.
Especially New York apartments.
I opened the refrigerator earlier and it was honestly depressing.
Completely empty.
There was half a lemon.
And one bottle of water.
That's basically all we own right now.
Vacation really resets your life.
In both good and bad ways.
Mostly bad for the refrigerator.
Also, our luggage is still sitting by the door.
I refuse to unpack tonight.
Same.
There's something emotionally exhausting about unpacking after a trip.
Because unpacking officially means the vacation is over.
Exactly.
Boston still feels mentally close somehow.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, we were walking through quiet streets with coffee in our hands.
And now we're back hearing sirens outside the apartment.
Honestly, though, I missed New York a little.
Me too.
Even the chaos.
Especially the chaos.
That sounds unhealthy.
Probably.
But New York has this energy where even ordering dinner feels like an event.
That's true.
Everything here feels louder.
Louder, brighter, faster.
Boston felt calmer.
But New York feels alive.
Exactly.
You know what I noticed when we got back earlier?
What?
The apartment felt smaller.
Oh my God, yes.
Why does every apartment feel tiny after traveling?
Because hotels trick you emotionally.
Especially hotel beds.
Hotel beds always make you think your own bed is terrible.
Then after one night back home, you suddenly love your own bed again.
Very true.
Also, our apartment is warm.
That's actually important.
Boston was freezing.
I still haven't emotionally recovered from that wind.
Same.
Anyway, before we become too comfortable and refuse to leave the apartment,
We should probably go eat.
definitely.
Okay, we're officially outside now.
And wow, it's colder than I expected.
You say that every winter.
Because winter personally attacks me every year.
At least the city looks beautiful tonight.
It really does.
The streets still look wet from the rain earlier,
New York after light rain always looks cinematic.
especially at night.
The reflections everywhere make the whole city glow.
Taxi lights, restaurant windows, traffic signals.
And random convenience stores somehow shining like movie sets.
New York convenience stores are weirdly comforting,
They really are.
especially late at night.
You walk in for water and somehow leave with snacks you never planned to buy.
That's basically New York survival.
Listen to this city.
Sirens.
Car horns.
Someone yelling across the street.
Music from 3 different restaurants.
Honestly, it's kind of overwhelming after Boston.
Boston evenings were so quiet.
Sometimes we could literally hear our footsteps.
Meanwhile, New York sounds like 10 conversations happening at once.
But somehow I missed it.
Same.
You know what I always forget?
What?
New York people walk aggressively.
Very aggressively.
Everyone walks like they're late for a life-changing meeting.
Even when they're probably just buying chips.
Exactly.
Wait, look at that tiny bookstore.
Oh wow.
That looks cozy.
We should come back another night.
We say that about every bookstore.
Because bookstores deserve optimism.
Fair.
Honestly, tonight feels nice though.
Yeah.
No schedule.
No rushing.
Just dinner.
That's probably why I'm in such a good mood.
Food-related happiness is very real.
Extremely real.
Also, I'm starting to get really hungry,
Same.
which is dangerous because hungry people make bad menu decisions.
True. Suddenly, everything sounds good.
Even things you never normally order.
Exactly.
I already know I'm going to stare at the menu for 20 minutes.
And still panic order at the end.
Correct.
That's your restaurant personality.
What's yours?
Pretending I know what I want immediately.
Then changing your mind 3 times.
Also correct.
You know what I keep thinking about from Boston?
The coffee shop?
Yes.
That place was nice.
I loved how quiet it was.
Nobody was screaming into a phone.
Nobody was typing aggressively on a laptop.
Very unlike New York.
But honestly, I think New York makes dinner feel more exciting.
Definitely.
There's this feeling that the night could keep going forever.
Especially in Manhattan,
The city almost feels awake all the time.
which is both comforting and slightly exhausting.
That's basically New York's personality.
Wow, this place smells amazing.
Butter, garlic, grilled food.
And fresh bread.
That smell alone already makes me hungry.
Good evening. Table for 2?
Yep,
Thank you.
this place feels exactly the same.
I actually love that,
Familiar restaurants are comforting.
especially after traveling.
Okay, wow, this menu is huge.
Why do New York restaurants always have 10-page menus?
Because they refuse to specialize.
They're like, would you like pasta, steak, seafood, burgers, sushi, or breakfast?
All in one building.
Okay, wait.
What?
The truffle mushroom pasta sounds really good.
Of course, you found the truffle section immediately.
Why is truffle always expensive?
Because restaurants love charging people emotionally.
This pasta is $32,
That's honestly normal for New York now.
which is terrifying.
New York changes your understanding of money.
Very true.
Ooh, wait, look at this grilled salmon.
That actually looks good.
Crispy potatoes, too.
Dangerous.
Extremely dangerous.
Should we get appetizers?
We always say we shouldn't.
And then, we always do.
Because appetizers are emotionally persuasive.
That's not a real phrase.
It should be.
Okay, but look at these fried calamari.
Wow.
See?
Okay, maybe appetizers are happening.
Also, there's burrata.
You love burrata.
Because it tastes expensive.
It is expensive.
True.
Can I get you started with drinks?
I honestly want tea.
Tay.
I'm cold.
Fair.
What about you?
Maybe sparkling water.
That's surprisingly responsible.
I'm trying to act financially stable tonight.
In this restaurant?
Good point.
Okay. 1 hot tea.
And sparkling water, please.
Of course.
I still can't decide.
Same.
Part of me wants something comforting.
Like pasta.
Exactly.
But another part of me wants something dramatic.
Dramatic food?
Like steak.
Steak is your emotional support meal.
Honestly, yes.
Wait.
What?
Remember the seafood pasta we had in Boston? You know what I always forget about restaurants?
What?
Waiting for the food somehow makes people immediately more emotional.
That's true.
The second you order, suddenly you start talking like you're in a documentary about your life.
Food creates honesty.
Hunger creates honesty.
Honestly, though, this place feels really nice tonight.
Yeah,
Warm lighting.
not too loud,
Nobody's aggressively filming TikToks.
which already improves the atmosphere.
Massively.
I'm actually glad we didn't stay home tonight.
Same?
There was a moment earlier where I really wanted to just sit in sweatpants and never leave the apartment again.
Especially after traveling.
Traveling is fun until you come home and realize your body is exhausted.
And your suitcase is still sitting there judging you.
Mine is absolutely judging me.
Same.
I still haven't mentally accepted that vacation is over.
Honestly, neither have I.
Boston still feels very close in my brain.
Yeah.
I keep thinking about those quieter mornings.
The coffee shops.
The cold air.
The brick buildings.
Everything there felt slower somehow.
Meanwhile, New York immediately throws you back into reality.
Loudly.
Very loudly.
But I weirdly missed New York food.
Oh, absolutely.
Boston had good restaurants.
Definitely.
But New York dinner culture just feels different.
There's more chaos.
More energy.
More people loudly discussing pasta.
Which honestly feels comforting.
Fried calamari for you guys.
Thank you.
Wow, that looks good.
Wait, why does fried food always look life-changing in restaurants?
Because restaurants understand human weakness.
That's actually true.
Okay, wow.
Right?
That's dangerously good.
The lemon helps a lot.
And it's actually crispy.
Sometimes calamari gets weirdly rubbery.
Exactly.
This is good.
Very good.
You know what's funny?
What?
Every time we travel, we say we're going to eat healthier when we come back.
And then immediately order fried appetizers.
Correct.
Growth.
Emotional growth.
Honestly, though, tonight feels like a proper we're back home night.
Yeah.
Apartment. Messy.
Refrigerator empty.
Laundry waiting for us.
And somehow we still decided expensive pasta was the solution.
Which emotionally feels correct.
Financially questionable.
Very questionable.
I love watching people in restaurants.
Same.
Everyone always looks like they're in the middle of their own movie scene.
Especially in New York.
That couple over there definitely just had a serious conversation.
And that guy near the window looks like he's writing a screenplay.
He probably is.
New York attracts screenplay energy.
That sentence somehow makes perfect sense.
Truffle mushroom pasta. Grilled salmon with crispy potatoes.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Okay, this smells incredible.
The salmon looks way better than I expected.
And this pasta looks extremely expensive.
Which means it better taste amazing.
Exactly. Oh, wow.
Good?
That's actually incredible.
Let me try.
Careful, it's hot.
Okay, wow.
Right?
That sauce is ridiculous.
It tastes rich without feeling too heavy,
And the mushrooms taste fresh.
which weirdly matters a lot.
It really does.
Bad mushrooms ruin everything.
Absolutely.
Okay, your salmon is really good too.
I knew it.
The potatoes are dangerous though.
Dangerous potatoes are the best potatoes.
Crispy outside, soft inside.
Exactly what potatoes should be.
You know what I like about this restaurant?
What?
It doesn't try too hard.
Yes.
Some New York restaurants feel exhausting.
Tiny portions.
Loud music,
Uncomfortable chairs.
waiters acting emotionally unavailable.
Extremely emotionally unavailable.
But this place just feels normal.
In a good way.
Comfortable food,
Comfortable lighting.
comfortable energy,
Honestly, that's harder to find now.
especially in Manhattan.
You know what I think traveling always reminds me?
What?
How important ordinary evenings are.
That's true.
Not huge moments.
Just simple nights.
Walking around.
Eating dinner.
Talking too much.
Existing peacefully for a couple hours.
Exactly.
Honestly, this might sound dramatic,
Go ahead.
but tonight already feels like one of those nights I'll randomly remember later.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know. Maybe because okay. I'm officially full.
Same.
Like genuinely happy full.
That's the best kind.
Not uncomfortable full.
Just emotionally peaceful, full.
Exactly.
Honestly, that pasta was worth it.
Completely worth $32.
Which is shocking.
New York has ruined our understanding of pricing.
Absolutely ruined it.
Somewhere else, we'd look at this menu and panic,
Here, we're like, well, that's normal.
which is terrifying.
Whenever you're ready,
All right.
moment of truth.
Why does looking at the bill always feel dramatic?
Because reality returns.
Very true.
Okay.
How bad?
Honestly,
Yeah?
less bad than expected.
That's always a good sign.
$112.
Wait, actually, that's not horrible.
I was emotionally preparing for worse.
Same.
Though dessert definitely contributed to the situation.
Cheesecake has consequences.
Financial and emotional consequences.
Okay, what are we thinking for tip?
20%?
They were really nice tonight, though.
True.
And we stayed here forever.
Also true.
Maybe 25?
You're feeling generous tonight.
I'm in a peaceful post-pasta state.
That's understandable.
Also, restaurant jobs in New York honestly look exhausting.
Extremely exhausting.
Imagine carrying giant plates around Manhattan for 8 hours.
While people ask complicated questions about mushrooms,
That was me earlier.
it absolutely was.
Okay, yes. 25%.
Deal.
Final total.
$138.
There goes financial responsibility.
But we gained happiness.
Temporary happiness.
Still counts.
Okay, wow. It got colder outside.
New York nights become freezing so fast.
But the city looks beautiful right now.
It really does.
Everything feels calmer after dinner somehow.
Food changes your mood completely.
Also, I think we finally relaxed.
Yeah,
Boston was relaxing too, but traveling still tires you out.
especially moving around constantly.
Tonight feels slower.
In a good way.
Look at that bakery.
Oh wow, it's still open.
New York genuinely refuses to sleep.
Which I both love and fear.
Same.
You know what's nice though?
What?
Nights like this make the city feel smaller somehow.
Yeah.
Like for a couple hours, the noise disappears a little.
And the city just feels warm.
Exactly.
Honestly, I'm glad we went out tonight.
Me too.
We could have stayed home and stared at unpacked luggage,
Instead, we ate expensive pasta.
which was clearly the healthier decision.
Obviously.
I think this might officially be our first real New York night after Boston.
Yeah.
And honestly,
What?
it feels good to be back.
It really does.